Zach Spot. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. So today we're hopping back into Legends of Runeterra, but not for the reason you think. We're actually I'm going to be doing a tutorial, and we're going to be going through it together. And it's going to be unlike the very first episode I did, because that was not only explaining how the game worked, but really just some gameplay of it. This is going to teach you how not to suck. Just some tips and tricks. I'm not a master at it, more of a novice than anything, but I've definitely picked up a couple things. So, we're just going to hop right into it. First, I'm just going to explain there are login rewards, so you want to make sure that you're logging in every day. That's going to get you more cards. Simple as that. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, quests, you will get daily quests that you can reroll if you have a reroll die. You need to get these done because they give you XP. XP means more cards. And then the weekly vault. The more you win in ranked, it doesn't have to be a ranked, but in ranked and casual play, you will get you will upgrade your vault essentially. The higher vault, the better the rewards will be when it unlocks every Tuesday, which is kind of funny. I'm recording this on Monday, late at night, and it's going to happen. This is going up on Tuesday for the very first tutorial Tuesday. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you have an idea for the next tutorial Tuesday that I kind of want to do just every week, leave it down in the comments below. Thank you very much. Anyways, all that out of the way. Collection, simple cards, boards, guardians, all this shit down here, that's all cosmetic. We're going to focus on the deck building. Rewards, you want to go through these, and you get them by playing, and they just give you even more cards. It's going to be very helpful. And the stores if you're paid to win. Okay, so we're going to go to play. Actually, no, we're going to go to collection. Now I'm going to give you a couple deck building tips. So, we're going to do a new deck. Now, when you're building a deck, you can only use 2 regions. So, for example, if I choose Demacia, Nexus, and Shadow Isles, and I'm like, oh, I want this guy, this girl, and this guy, and this girl, but then I decide to go over to him. Because he is a different, he's from a different, essentially, a different clan. Or region, rather. Not gonna let me. That's because, like I said, you can only have, 2 of each. Or 2 of any of the regions in your deck at one time. Personally, I like, to use more overwhelming strategies, and just to go over them. Demacia, in my opinion, is more about not only spells, but powering up your creatures, creating walls so you can put out more powerful creatures. Freljord is a little bit more about synergy and powering up creatures, especially with the Poros synergy. Ionia is about kind of, how do I explain this? Ionia is about spells, but specific spells that are quick to play, burst spells. As you can see, there's a lot of fast and burst spells. There's only one slow spell on this entire page, and it's also kind of a bit of buffing at the same time as trolling, just kind of making it hard for your opponent to keep anything strong on the field. Then we move over to Nexus. Nexus is specifically my second favorite, no, third favorite to actually work with. Nexus is all about doing quick damage and keeping a lot of creatures on the field, kind of like an assassin class. Piltover and Zon is very trolly. Creatures that either you can't block or attack you before you can attack them, things like that. Creatures that you can choose which they attack, so it makes it very hard for your opponent to strategize when you can really control the battlefield. Shadow Isles is my #1 favorite to deal with, and this is about overwhelming your enemy with low-cost spells and creatures, and then using something like, for example, you could use Demacia to get a bunch of higher-cost, stronger creatures out there after you've overwhelmed and kept the enemy defenses minimal. And that's essentially a quick explanation of all the regions. Now, for me, we're going to use Shadow Isles and Nexus. Actually, yeah, you know what? We're going to use Shadow Isles and Nexus. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because they pair very well together. First, because of all the spiders, allows me to level up, and I explained leveling up in the previous video, but essentially, really quick, once you complete the level up condition, it gets even stronger, it gets more abilities as a card. So I have to have 3 spiders, so what I'm going to do is first, you want to get at least 4 champions in your deck. I recommend 4 minimum. If you can do 6, but that might be overkill. 4 is good though. Then from there, you want to make sure that you can very easily fulfill whatever their level up requirements are. Now, there are 40 cards, meaning out of these 4, I have a 1 in 10 chance of drawing these champions. That's fine. We're going to leave it like that. If you want to go up to 6, you can bump that up to a 1 in 15 chance. Now, to go back to the task at hand, I need to fulfill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually type up here, and this search bar is very helpful. It can do types, mana costs, whatever you want. Now, and there's also filters as well. Spiderling. This is spider. This is spider. This summons a spiderling. Spider. Summons spiderlings. Very first, I just want the minimum requirements. This right here, summon 3 spiderlings. All I need is 3 spiderlings. Boom. I'm going to get 2, which means I have a 1 in 10 chance of drawing her as well as her requirement. Now, we're going to move to Darius. I see the enemy Nexus has 10 or less health. Darius is special. He doesn't need card effects or damage to essentially level up. He needs you to... He's more of a mid to late game champion that all you have to do is just keep constantly hitting your opponent's Nexus or their health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search Nexus. Deal 1 damage to the enemy Nexus. Deal 4 damage to the enemy Nexus. Heal your Nexus and replace your hand with Decimates, which deal 4 damage to the enemy Nexus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in Decimate and Captain Farron, which now allows me to have a 1 in 4 chance, or 1 in 10 chance of drawing him and his level up requirement. Now, that in total, got a 1 in 10, 1 in 10, 2 in 10, 1 in 5. I now have a 1 in 5 or a 20% chance to draw my champions and their requirements, and that's really all you need. 20% chance, 1 out of every 5 cards you draw, and you start with 5 cards, is you're going to have one of these, so that's fine. We're going to leave that as is. Now, when you're using, for example, weaker creatures like spiderlings, you want to be able to either protect or buff them. Now, we're going to take the actual buffing. So, what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to add a couple more spiders, because not only are they going to be able to overwhelm, and before I mention any of this, these are mana costs. You never, even though they're strong, you never want to have too many 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana creatures, or you won't be able to play shit, and you will get wrecked by 6 different creatures that do 1 or 2 damage, and they will whittle down your health until you have nothing and you can do nothing. Now, what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to use these hapless aristocrats, because not only do they, it's a very easy 1 cost creature, but it also allows me to summon a spiderling, which is good for Elise. And there's actually a graphics glitch, because you can actually see how many cards you can add by these 2 little dots, and that blanked out dot means you cannot add 3. You have to click slowly or it glitches out a bit, so make sure you don't click as fast as I just did. Now, I'm also going to go down to Fearsome Pet, and now this is a good card for one mana, 3 attack, 2 health, but it cannot block, which can prove to be very, very fatal if that's the only thing you have on the field. So instead, I'm going to use Precious Pet, because it's 1 cost, however, it has Fearsome, so they won't be able to block it for a couple turns because I'll need a card that has 3 attack. Now, I'm also going to put these one when I'm summoned, summon a Spiderling, so that, god damn it, I did it again. It'll allow me to keep more monsters on the field. Now, having creatures that summon other creatures, you either want that, or you want creatures, a bunch of low-cost creatures. You need that. You need that, or you will not be able to keep things on the field, and it will cost you your valuable health, your valuable Nexus points. So, choose something that summons other things, or or a deck that has a good amount of low-cost cards. Now, we're also going to there's essentially 3 aspects you want in your deck: protection, neutralization, and sheer force, sheer will, sheer Russian prog. Now, what I'm talking about when I say neutralization is something that can either instantly clear the field or stop the opponent, whatever they're planning, dead in their track. For example, say you need to buy yourself an extra turn. Arachnoid Sentry, 3-cost card, but stuns an enemy, buys you an extra turn because maybe they have a 12 attack creature, buys you that extra turn that they cannot attack or block with. I'm going to add those 2. Now, when I'm summoned, grant other spider allies +2/+0. This is more of the protection buffing aspect, and that's good if you have weak cards. I like to go, instead of having cards that summon, even though I have those, instead of having cards that summon, I like to have weak cards and then stronger cards later that buff those cards. Because even though those are 1/1, for example, Spiderling is a 1/1 card, 1 buffed with Arachnoid Host, that's +2, that's +2 for all of them, so that turns into a 3/1. Then Brood Awakening adds another one, 4/1, and they're extremely cheap to put out, so you can do a lot of damage very quickly. Now, to refocus on neutralization, something like Grasp of the Undying, drain 3 from a unit, simply does 3 damage, but we're going to actually get some cheaper cards. I'm going to focus on getting some. So if you look, you don't want just monsters, you also want a balance of monsters and spells for all your rankings, essentially, all of your mana costs. So right now, for 1 costs, I have only monsters, so I'm going to add a Blade's Edge. It's just it's only 1, but 1 card can make a big difference. And I already have a decent setup right now, and I've only used not even half of the cards I'm allowed. Now, we go to 2. I have my champion and a monster and another monster. I do not have any spells. I'm going to want to add some spells, so I'm going to either choose drain 1 from a unit to summon a Spiderling or kill an ally to draw 2. I don't want to kill my own ally, even though draw is good, because the more you can draw, the more likely you are to get what you want. Now, very important thing, and this goes for all card games, you never want a variety. You never want just a shit ton of bunch of different things like spiders and this and this and this, but I can do this and this. No, too much. You need to focus on one thing and have a bunch of that. For example, I've added a lot of spiders. I want to increase my chance of getting a spider as much as possible. I went from having a 1 in 10 chance to more pretty much now every other card or every 2 or every 3 cards I draw will be a spider. That's very beneficial for me. Speaking of which, this not only does 1 damage to my opponent's creature, but also summons a Spiderling. Now, we go to 3. Arachnoid Sentry, don't have any sort of spell, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose... I can either choose to deal 3 damage to a unit on the condition that one of my units died this round, or kill a unit with 3 or less power. I'm going to choose kill a unit with 3 or less power, because that 3 or less power can really make a difference if it's just an extra creature that you don't want. So I'm going to put 2 of those in my deck. Now, we go on to 4, which I don't have any. You want to have a nice balance. And I know it's kind of left heavy right now, very cheap, but I'm going to fill that in with the rest of my 19 cards. And this is going to be a longer video, I'm going to try and speed it up a little bit, but if you're really into Legends of Runeterra, subscribe, hit that bell so you know when I'm post, and hit that like button if you really like this Legends of Runeterra content. Lets me know I'm doing the right thing and I'm making you guys smile, and that's all I really want. Anyways, 4 cost. Now, 4 cost. Kill an ally, then revive it. That can be very well paired with the Undying, because you can duplicate this card. When the Undying, even though it can't block, when it dies and then revives at the beginning of next round with +1/+1. So once it dies, it gets 3/3, then 4/4, then 5/5, then 6/6, and so on. But you can duplicate it. You kill it and instantly revive it to get a 2/2, and then at the next turn, you get a 4. You also get the 3/3 of the one that was killed. So you just duplicated it. Very well, and I'm thinking about putting this into my deck, but we're going to hold off on that. First of all, we're going to focus, and there's actually not too many 4 cost cards that I have, and I do want a 4 cost card, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and do this. Chronicle of Rune, but I'm only going to put 1 of each in. I can only put 1 of this anyways, but only 1 of these because I don't want that to take up too much. Now, on to 5. Brood Awakening, spell. Decimate, spell, don't have a monster. Now this, when I'm summoned, grant other spider allies +2/+0. Like I said, I already have a shit ton of spiders. Might as well add some more. For those of you who don't like spiders, you're gonna have to suck it up for this, sorry. Now, I'm going to move on to 6. I have Darius, my champion. 2 creatures, but I also want some spells, so I could either deal 1 to all enemy units, which is good because after you've whittled them down, a lot of the time your enemy will just have like 3 or 4, maybe all of their units. I've wiped out an entire opponent's bench of units because they all had 1 health, even if they had a bunch of attack. So I'm going to add that. It also heals me for 3 Nexus points each. So that gives me an extra 6 health, 26 health instead of 20. Now, we're going to move to 7. Vengeance. Kills a unit. Simple as that. That's about as plain and simple as you can get to neutralization. You kill a unit. And now, very last, we have we have 1 level 8. And that's literally the only level 8 cards. We have a level 9. Kill all units, but that includes yourself. And I'm not going to use this, but Scuttlegeist, even though it's a 10 cost, reduce my cost by 1 for each ally that died this game. So for every ally, and this pairs very well with the Undying and Chronicler of Ruin, you can constantly get the Undying killed and reduce that cost of Scuttlegeist until you can play a 5/5 creature for 0 mana. 1, 2. 2 of them in my deck, and now I have 9 cards, and I'm going to do a quick cut and fill in the rest of my deck. Okay, and we are back into it. Now, I just finished creating that new deck, and we're actually going to, let me just not delete it, edit it, name it. We're going to name it Zach Spot Blank Deck Spiders. Yes. Because I'm bad at naming things. Zach Spot Blank Divix, but close enough. Save. Boom. We're gonna hop right into it, waste no more time. We're going right against a player. Choose my Zach Spot Blank Diak. Hands off my Diak. And we're gonna actually do a ranked match because that's how confident I am in this. Play. And now we wait. Usually only takes between 2 and 10 seconds to find a match. 7 seconds this time, and we're good. Now, who are we going to be against? Again, another shark. Almost every time I play, it's against a shark. Sharks are cool, I get it. I love sharks. Sharks are actually my favorite animal. Well, sharks and hippopotamuses. Why? Because I said so. Now, we got 2 Vile Feasts. Darius, don't want, because I don't want to be able to... I don't want to get stuck with too many high cost cards. So 2, 2, 3, 5. Not bad. Could be better. Would really want a 1 cost card, so maybe if I get lucky. No, Arachnoid Host though is a very solid card. Now, I have the attack token, not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to wait. Now, the biggest thing is you always want to keep track of what your opponent is playing. Look away and you miss something, click right over here and you can see what they played. Pick a card in your hand, shuffle 4 exact copies of it in the deck, and then Teemo. Teemo is a champion. What you want to do is you always want to get rid of champions as quick as possible. Once you've planted 15 poison puff caps, he evolves. So I don't want that to happen, so what I'm going to literally do, choose his spell, drain 1 from him, get rid of that champions, because the most he can have is 2 of that champion. I have 2 of that spell, just got rid of it. Now I have a creature that always target champions, because they can be a pain, and they are very, very strong creatures. Now, I'm going to summon this, and actually, because I have the attack, and even though this guy cannot block, I am going to put him out there.
Reporting in?
Sheerly because he does have a strong attack value. He's going to deal 2 damage to it. I was kind of hoping he was going to do that and waste his mana because I don't really care for that card. And now, what I actually want though, is I want to actually play my own spell, but actually instead of playing a spell, I'm going to hold off, let the spell play. You never want to, you always want to keep your cards to yourself. You never want to just put them all out. You want to let him do his thing. Now, he has less mana, I'm going to put my house spider out. That's the actual creature I wanted, and I have 3 cards there. So big thing is baiting your opponent, trying to get into their head, making them think, oh, he's going to attack with this strong creature, but then you actually have a different goal. Now, all I have to do is attack with this, and it's essentially 4 free damage. 4. Easy. Now, I don't have any more mana, so the round will automatically end, and he has the attack die. Now, I have the Sentry. I'll be able to stun his unit that he plays, which will essentially get me another free attack next round. Let's see. I'm going to hold off on summoning it, though. I'm going to pass this round. Remember, you can use it 4 mana anytime on your turn. You don't have to immediately waste it. And if I'd used this Vile Feast and wasted it, I wouldn't be able to use it on his other Teemo, meaning he now has no more of that champion. I play Vile Feast, I drain from his Teemo, I not only get another creature, but I also like I said, get rid of his other Teemo. He's sad about it.
Just trying to help.
I don't really have anything I can say, so I'm gonna say hi. You accidentally knock someone over, you say hi. You commit tax fraud, you say hi. Eco-terrorism, you say hi. Makes it all better. You just gotta say it's fine, it makes it fine. I do not condone this message, don't listen to me. Anyways, to refocus. Now, he's going to not actually attack, so I'm going to end round. Attack die goes to me. It is my turn now. I'm going to play Arachnoid Sentry. And I'm going to stun his creature, which will allow me to do more damage without him being able to block with that creature. And I know what you're thinking, Zach, you didn't follow your own rule. He could have something else. He could. But if he does, he does. All I have to do is get 1 less creature that can block, and that's all I have to deal with. Now, before this ends, I do have 5 mana total, so I'm going to play Decimate, because Decimate doesn't actually matter like who you played on, because it only attacks the Nexus. I can't target a creature or anything like that. So I'm going to lock that in, deal 4 damage to his Nexus. I'm a genius, I know. I'm big brain. It's big brain time, so I've essentially put him into his own little cage. I've gotten into his mind. He's starting to worry, he's starting to panic. He knows I have a bunch of creatures here. He also knows that I'm going to probably have more, which I do. That's going to make him nervous. He's more likely to go faster. He's going to want to get rid of everything I have. But that's fine though. I don't want him to focus on these creatures. I want him to waste all of his spells so I can set out my champions without having to worry about them being targeted. I'm going to once again attack. And now he's at 10 health. He's at half of where he started. Now, once I get Darius, once I see the enemy is at 10 or less health, he evolves. And that took 4 rounds. That's all it takes. It's all about strategy and not only being able to keep strategy here, but know their strategy. They're gonna be dealing 1 damage to an enemy, or and then 1 to either. So she's gonna whoever this is, a name like 1, is actually gonna kill these creatures. I'm gonna let it happen. As much as I don't want it to, I kind of have to let it happen. But that's fine. I'm now going to play House Spider, which will also summon another spiderling, and I'm just going to sit there. They're going to play out Scribe of Sorrows. When I'm summoned, create a copy, that doesn't matter. And I'm going to actually take that 2 damage. Sometimes it's actually smarter to take the damage than it is to block it and kill one of your own creatures. I'm going to skip the block. Give him a little false sense of security. And I'm now going to wait. I'm going to pass. Now it is my turn, and that mana, you don't always have to use your mana, because it goes into your spell mana and allows you to play spells for cheaper. So, you might want to actually hold on to your mana. Now I have the attack die. I'm going to play this card, which will allow me to buff those. Then, once again, what was that? Drain 3 from a unit. That's fine though. And then I'm, because I actually waited for him, now I'm going to use this on this creature, which will allow me to do, minimum, if he blocks it, 5 damage with that, plus 8. You will have 2 health left. Oh, he actually had 2 of those. And that's very well played. Nice job. That was actually a very smart play for him, and I'm going to not attack, however. I really want to. I could actually just clear the board completely, but instead I'm going to hold my tongue and I'm going to pass. Now, he just healed back up, and that just goes to show this game is nowhere near over. Elites, finally. Now I'm going to take that 1 damage because he put Poison Puffs. Every time you draw a card that has a Poison Puff on it, deals 1 damage. Teemo. Why can he have 3? I guess Teemo's a special one that can have 3 in it. Again, I don't want to deal with that. So what I'm going to do is be a bit of a dick. I'm going to first drain 3 from his champion. Because again, even though it's overkill and I could kill this stronger creature, I don't want to deal with this Teemo. Double the Poison Puff the enemy deck. If he had gotten that, I would have had a Poison Puff on every single one of my cards. Every time I draw, I would have taken a damage. That can be very, very detrimental to me. Now, I'm just going to wait for him. He has the attack, so hopefully, he can attack if he wants. Doesn't really matter to me. He's going to attack. I'm not going to block. I'm going to summon Elise.
Come closer. I don't bite.
And now we wait. End round. My turn. I have the attack. So, look. I've lost 8 creatures. Some on purpose, some not so much. But it allows me to now play this 5/5 creature for only 2 mana. So I'm going to play that Then I'm going to wait for him to take his turn. He's going to play a spell, kill a unit. Well, that's just a big old bag of dicks. Okay, sorry. A little bit of something in my chest, frog in my throat, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to immediately put these out here, because sometimes it is best, and I probably could have gotten away with just attacking straight, but sometimes it is best to just attack. Even though you might have something else in your hand, attacking forces them to either block or counter with something, and they won't be able to play a spell unless it's a burst. Now, the reason I'm doing this instead of this card is she will not only summon her own Spiderling. This card cannot block it because I have Fearsome and he does not have 3 or more attack. I get a free Spiderling, he can block it if he wants, reduces his health even more. 1, 2.
So young.
That's nice at least. I actually do have some flavor text, some of it's kind of disturbing. I can play with my little guardian over there. Hi there, cutie. Okay, anyways. This video is actually going on a little bit longer than I thought. Sorry, I know it's long. Try and bear with me. I might cut out some parts that are boring, things like that. Now, Chronicle of Ruin. Do I want to play it? I could. Am I going to? No. Am I going to end the turn? Fuck yeah. Darius. He had 10 less health. That's really depressing because he doesn't. Back. Okay, he's gonna make some more copies of a card. Teemo. Oh, that's why he had more. He made copies of it. That's really depressing. I'm gonna actually play Darius and get him out onto the field. Another thing, this Teemo does have elusive. Oh shit, he played another. Now he has 10 pumpkins in. Fuck, that's gonna level that up. This put me in a timer. I have to finish him quick, so no more dicking around. We're gonna go right into it. Okay, so, focus. I'm gonna pass. Wait for him to go. He doesn't level up. That's not gonna be. I don't really care about that anymore. Don't really care about that other creature either. Last breath. Summon a Spiderling.
What's that noise?
Weak-willed.
Alright. Kill a unit. Why are you like that?
Press on.
Why? You're so mean. I'm gonna get that out.
We
I'm
could
going to
use
attack
a bite.
because I'm going to most likely get 2 Spiderlings out of this, even though one of them is guaranteed to die. Waiting. Yep, gonna kill that one. Not gonna block, however. Smart on his part. Waiting. And end the round. Now, this is actually getting to a dangerous part. He is starting to fight back a bit. Now, I have my own vengeance. I can kill a unit. So I'm going to wait till he plays his most precious, biggest, strongest unit. And he's so happy. And I'm just going to take all his happiness away from him. Okay. Yeah, like that. Going to, even though I want to, as much as I want to actually kill an ally, then revive it, I can actually kill that.
All for the best, my
Which summons me another one of these and revives him.
You'll never know what hit him.
So I wish I could block these, but I can't. So I'm just going to have to sit and wait and take that damage because I do not have any elusives. But I am going to take away some of him. And actually, I could have used that on myself, and that probably would have been the smarter idea, but I did not.
Me.
Everyone makes
Control
mistakes.
this. That's gotta sting.
I'm gonna wait a little bit more. It is my turn. Darius, once again. Now, instead, I'm going to force his hand to attack him immediately. I don't want to deal with this, and I want to get him below 10. So I'm going to force his hand in attacking immediately. He's gonna, which will guarantee that I have 3. He cleared his own. I think he knows that he is most likely gonna lose now. He cleared his own hand. He's playing another spell. Not a big fan of that. Kill all units. Well, that's just not very. Does give me another spider, but that does complicate things. However, luckily I had Darius on reserve, and I figured something like that was going to happen, or he's going to play a spell, and I didn't want him to go out there and get immediately slaughtered. Now I still have a 10-5 creature that can kill him in 1 hit. He's going to wait.
Prepared for anything.
Place an elusive down. Still won't matter, but shit. Deal 3 damage to each enemy that was summoned down. Not a big fan of that. However, this could actually be very bad for me.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
I'll have what he's having.
For the hand!
Swiftly.
This is actually getting to a danger. This is a good match. Overall, I'm only, yeah. I'm going to skip block, take the damage. This is actually a very dangerous situation.
So fast.
I just need him to end his turn. Deal 1 damage to anything. Well, actually no. Not gonna play that. I'm going to force him
By my hand.
to attack.
Nexus!
Because unless he blocks with, even if he blocks with this, that damage will be done. Because I have Overwhelm. It will do exactly 7
Would a mushroom
damage.
help?
And I think he knows that. So, good game. And that's been my tutorial. And he did have a comeback at the end, and that could have been my demise, but I ended up pulling through, and that's what you gotta hope for. I'm still learning, but they actually gave you some tips that'll actually help you when you're ranked up. They'll actually help you get started with deck building and all this. I know this is long, it's gonna be probably not gonna want to watch it all, but if you build, go through it, you might find 1, 2, maybe 3 things that actually help you out to get started. Other than that, thanks for checking out my channel. This is Xbot, and see ya!